Hi, my name is Native Gnosis, and this is my introductory video. I'm starting this video blog so I can discuss various spiritual topics such as shamanism and ceremonial magic. And every now and then, I guess this little guy will be joining us whenever he feels like it. I'm a little curious to see if anyone's going to watch. Hopefully someone can learn something from my experiences, and I'm sure I'm going to learn a lot just from doing this blog. I don't really discuss my practice of magic or being a mage with very many people. When I was Wiccan, I used to talk very openly about it. As time went on, I found it attracted an attention that I didn't need or really want. Sometimes negative, just from getting people's reactions. It's just, I don't need it at work and all that kind of stuff. So I really just keep it to me, between me and my close friends. And of course, a lot of it too is just not casting my pearls before swine. And what that means is being a mage is something that's very precious to me, and I feel that magic is a sacred treasure. And, like a pearl, you wouldn't toss it before a pig that, would trample on it and not appreciate it. And, so seeing as magic is to me, a sacred treasure, I'm not, I wouldn't put it out there for other people who don't understand it, to make fun of or attack. And I find also that magic works best in secret. I don't need people coming to me asking me to do this or that, or, I don't need people to be, intimidated by me. That's just not something I need. So putting this video blog is really putting myself out there. But I think it'll be a positive experience, so that's why I'm choosing to do it. I guess I'll start with a little bit about me and my history. I'm 20 years old. I'm a Gemini, which means that in about 6 more months, I'm going to be old enough to drink, legally at least. For as long as I can remember, I've always been drawn to the occult, and I've always been obsessed with magic. I come from a divorced household. My parents have been divorced for as long as I can remember, thank God. And my father he's Catholic, and my mother she's just Christian. She doesn't really feel a need to label herself beyond that. I, for the most part, was raised Catholic, but around 12 or 13, I really realized that it just really wasn't something for me. It was unfortunately, more of a negative experience for me than anything else. So I went and became Protestant, as the other half of my family was. And at around age 14, I learned Reiki, and it totally changed my life. It really opened up doors for me, and I became very sensitive to the energy around me. And it also healed me of a depression I had suffered for many, many years, actually pretty much my whole life up until then, from depression. And I believe that Reiki was instrumental to me to finally being able to let it go. And at around 15 or 16, I started practicing Wicca as I was in high school. And that's what all the religiously rebellious kids did. I learned a lot about magic during that time, and I really learned a lot about myself. And so to me, I'll always have a little soft spot for Wicca, but it just wasn't, in the end, what I was led to. My path then took me to study the old grimoires, and I found the Gospel of Thomas. And with the old grimoires, from the Renaissance and stuff like that, they're majority Kabbalistic and Christian in nature. And I found the Gospel of Thomas, which is a Gnostic book, and it's quite possibly older than the 4 Gospels we have today. the more I began to study about Christianity and its history, the more I learned that there were many different sects of Christianity in the beginning, and what we have today is just one of these surviving sects, because eventually they grew in power and wiped the rest of them out. And one of these people were the Gnostics, and they were very spiritual in nature, and they were very mystical. And in my belief, I believe that that's the original form of Christianity in the way that Christ had intended it to be. And so that's now what I'm practicing. I feel like that's what I've been drawn to and what my path is taken me towards. And so now at this current time, I study Gnosticism and the Hermetic Sciences, ceremonial magic, Kabbalah, practical and spiritual alchemy. I also really like studying a lot of John Dee's work with his Enochian material. The book that I'm working on now, I'm working through, is, alright, you gotta, alright, sorry. I'm working on Modern Magic by Don Michael Craig, and it is one of the few books by Llewellyn that I think is worth the paper it's printed on. But I really like it. It has a lot of basic information on it, you know, the LBRP, and it really fits in very nicely with the type of things that I study and the path that I'm on. I found it at a used bookstore for $7. It seems a lot of the times the things were meant to have, you find at a used bookstore somewhere, or it's super cheap. They tend to bring themselves to you. But that's a little bit about me. I'll be doing, you know, different talks on different things and different experiences. I'll probably do a little talk on the grimoires. I don't have a lot of experiences with them. The grimoires I find to be very powerful, and if you're going to do them, you have to have a lot of respect, and they take a lot of preparation. But I'll definitely be sharing some of my experiences with them, and discussing some of my techniques and how I work with them, and answering any questions if anyone happens to have any. But thank you for watching, and y'all have a blessed night, and I'll be probably posting another video soon. Bye!